Hello everyone, I'm Andy from Andy's Coding Tutorials, and this is lesson 10 of the Vue.js Beginners tutorial. Okay, so what we learned in the last one is we just started on components. Now we followed the guide here on the Vue.js Components Basics guide, and we just implemented this simple button here, and we learned that each component is individual. So what we had here is a count variable that we click and increment, and every time in each component, that is an individual variable for each component. So each instance of the component is individual, like that. So we can see that they're different each time. The first counter cannot access the fourth counter variable. Okay, so but what we want to do is sometimes we want to actually send data from the main Vue instance into the component. Okay, so what we'll do here, what we need to do there is we need to use a thing called props. Okay, so if we go back to the guide here, passing data to child components with props. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to say here, okay, so first thing we need to do is add a section called props. Okay, so let's add props here, and we put them in an array. Okay, so we want a prop called color. Okay, you just make it really simple. All right, and what we're going to do here is this becomes a variable in here. We can't write to it, but what we can do is if we put it here and we say, okay, now if you remember what we do is we say like class equals in HTML, well basically here we use a class here, and then we write some code we pull a variable or something like that into here, like a test variable or whatever it is here. That is actually a component. Okay, so we're actually calling part of a component there. So what we'll do here is instead of using class, we've defined one now. So we're going to be careful with our names too. We can't name props that already exist. So this one, color, in this situation doesn't exist. Okay, so let's call that color. Alright, so we want to say color red. Okay, here, and let's make a few different colors: red, blue, green, oops, we want green, yellow, orange. Okay, now let's see what happens if I go to here and open up. Okay, so nothing's really happened here. So what we want to do is we want to change this data. So we don't need this click count increment. What we'll do is we'll change this one, color, and we'll say color in here. Okay, that should make it pretty simple. Now watch what happens here. So now I've reloaded that. We passed this in here: color red, color blue, color green, color yellow, color orange, through this prop color, and Vue's gone, okay, I know what to do with that. When you call that here, that's going to get that prop data which we've passed here. So I'm now putting color red, color blue, color green, color yellow, color orange. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Now, and there's a number of different things you can do with these props, but it's a really useful way of getting data from the main Vue instance down into the Vue component. Okay, and that is individual to each instance of that component. Okay, so as you can see here, each one is different, and then in the browser each one is showing up the correct one. If I was to put red in all of them here, then they would all be red. Okay, like that. But because I've got them individual, they're all different colors. Okay, so now that we've covered props, there's a little bit to take in there, so I'll leave it there, and the next one we're going to cover emitting events. So that's the opposite. Here we've passed the prop color into here, into the component we've passed it from the template here, this is the main instance, into the component instance. We're going to go the other way, so we can get data back from the component into the main Vue instance. Okay, so as usual, the code is below the GitHub link is below, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them below and I'll get back to you.